all that he has done and all that he is doing. Isn't that right? So y'all know the program that we're using. You can follow along. We're using the Beth HaMashiach. So this program here allows us that's color-coded. So you can see the Abarym writing that they'll call Hebrew, the English. So they color code over to show you the words, how to enunciate them in their original language. They have the Greek. So I appreciate the Most High for giving us that opportunity. Everybody all right?
Yes, sir.
All right, making sure. There's so much going on in the world. There's definitely opportunity for men and women everywhere to consider your final estate. We're definitely getting out of here. Everybody leaving here. So we definitely want to make sure we go through and we look through the Sefer, through the scrolls, through the books, and we make sure we got this thing right. I don't know about y'all, but that's something I consider daily. I mean, daily, in the evening time, often. I mean, you start to appreciate not just the day and the night. I mean, you appreciate them just out at noon hour. You just start to appreciate the time, the moment, because in an instant, you can be out of here. You know, a lot of times we take stuff for granted. I know when you're younger, and I've been guilty of that for a long time. But, you know, you really, you know, of course, you know that death is imminent, but you don't consider how rapid it can come on you. But, you know, the longer you live, the closer you get to it. YashaYahu, what they call Apostle Paul, declared that we which are alive are always delivered unto moot. And all right, so we always try to consider when that estate hit us, where we going to be at. I mean, you should consider it. I told every one of y'all, tomorrow, he coming back. If he don't come back tomorrow, he coming back tomorrow. One of these days, he coming back in. Make no mistake, he coming back. You be a fool not to make preparation. You be a fool not to sit back and consider your latter end. I tell people all the time, when you make decisions, you better consider your latter end. At the end of the day, it's going to be judgment. And when judgment comes, you won't be able to sit back and see what you can work out and see if you can pull the prosecutor to the side and see they'll cut a deal. If I go ahead and admit guilty now, maybe we can get some leniency. Everything you have to get on this side. It's the only place the prosecutor work with you at now. If you got a situation, you got a case, this is the only side he'll work with you on. When you get on the other side, that's it. At that point, the judge will tell you all deals off the table. Everything you're going to do has got to be done now. So we're here to try to make sure we can get this thing right. Isn't that right? When the book comes, it's an opportunity to open up and every one of us look into it just like Jacob told, they called James. Every man look into the perfect law of liberty. That's our mirror. That's what we mirror right there. We take the Torah and we look at it, what instructions he's given us, and we consider the way we're going to see whether or not we're right. That's how you judge whether or not you're right. You don't want to go with the dictation of your heart. Your heart will tell you a whole lot of things. Your heart leads you wrong a whole lot of times. How many times our heart done sent off on the wrong direction? Had us feel a certain type of way and we found out we were wrong because we didn't have all the information. That's why it's important to get the word. When you get the word, then when your conviction comes, you know it line up with something. When your conviction comes, you ain't got nothing to substantiate it, but really that's just your emotion. And right, it's your opinion. I don't think we got fact. I mean, it ain't for everybody, but for those that's believers of the word, for me, I mean, the word is the final decree to me. It don't matter what I think, how I feel. It don't matter how I look, what I own, or what I got. Once the word declared, they got it. I mean, nothing I got settled forever. Everything he got is settled forever. So I try to consider that. Let's look. This is Romans chapter 15 and verse 4. So he'll read, and I'll tell you the English word for the Abarym word that he's using. All right, this is Romans 15. And the reason why we use this, it's important. A lot of times we talked about before how people will get the Bible, as they call it. Well, it's that biblical instruction based on life eternal. But for us, it's the Sefer. The Sefer is the scrolls or the books. People, they got their own interpretations. And ain't nothing wrong with it. I believe that it's still a book for instructions based on getting life eternal. I don't dispute it, but I just look at what he gave us. A lot of times it'll look like it could be a word fight. It ain't a word fight. I like to get to the most simplistic part when you're looking at salvation. It's because man had come in and man added his own ideology. That's the only reason why everybody divided. That's why you got the race colors. That's why you got a different denomination, because everybody got their feelings, or everybody got their part, or everybody feel like he's talking to him. Why don't we sit down and look at what fact? Come on, need to get that check. No, they ain't him. Come on, you come on back. You set that man on that mission. He started, I seen him tell him, say, hold it here. Yeah, somebody had to get a check for that sneeze, isn't that right? That's right. If it's a little too cold right there, we'll
a little too cold over
get
here
some
too.
money out your coat, get some money out your wallet, we'll buy him a fur coat. Well, they used to burning me up here. Y'all cold?
Yes, sir.
Who
Yes,
cold?
sir.
You cold? You'll be all right. This your first time being cold?
No, sir.
Well, ain't gonna be your last. Anyway, we get used to it, and then right. We ain't trying to freeze you out, but I don't want to burn up either. Here or later on. That's why I'm making preparation. All right, this is Romans 15:4. The reason why we use this, because the first thing we always want to establish in your search is just like building, because you're building. And when you're building, one thing you got to do, you have to clear the ground. That's how I look. I can't build on top of something unless I can see it's already strong enough to hold what I'm trying to put on top of it. Otherwise, you got to lay a foundation. And here, when it comes down to getting salvation, the first thing you got to do is go ahead and tear that old structure down. Don't build on top of it. I would never build on top of nothing I had and hold it. I just wouldn't use it because it's gonna cause me to veer off. When I took on the endeavor search for salvation, along the way, it allowed me to, encounter, different avenues, as you might say. And along the way, you realize sometimes you just got to tear it down to build it right. Sometimes you got some stuff you can fix and you can add to it. Like some homes, you can add additions to them, and some things you look and say, it just don't look right. It might look good on the inside, you look at it structurally, it's not sound. And when you look at your salvation, you want to make sure, first of all, it's structurally sound. And in order to do that, the first thing I look at when I go through is you want to kind of set a precedence. Which means the first thing I like to do, let's lay a foundation. Once you got a foundation, the foundation is show you what it can support. When you start taking off and you go and pick up something, you can read something and take out. That's how the religion gets started. You have to say, where's your foundation for that? I mean, he just gave it to me. It don't make sense. You need a foundation. You got to have something. You can't just go build this house and go build this and put it on no dirt. You need a foundation. It might be in there, but your foundation got to be laid. Just like Yahushua, who they called Jesus. They laid him in the ground, but he was a rock. So in order to build, first of all, he looked at, and you put it in the ground, but yeah, he put a rock. He said, because you need a solid foundation. When it come down to you trying to seek salvation, the first thing I do, where is your foundation? That's critical. People don't see that. When I took on religion, people like a favorite scripture, a writer, or whatever it might take in. Where's your foundation? Because once you start to take off and you start indulging into this book, there are things you're going to encounter. And if you don't have a foundation, you won't know what fit. And you'll start out, and this thing you know, you'll turn around and you have to give away from it. He said, a man sat here, and the first thing he said you need to do is sit down and do what? Count up the cost. Make sure you have sufficient to finish. These people don't count it up. When they get there and they see they don't have enough, they just start adding. That's the first thing he told you not to do. Don't add it, don't take away. Because they realize I never sat down and counted up the cost. What does it take for you to be saved? That's a critical and a key situation and question people need to ask themselves, because it determines how far you'll go. A lot of times people just told somebody, son, the Lord is talking to you. You need to go and turn your life over. And this man hear this, and he hear the people clapping and shouting, and that thing, he jumps up and commit himself to something. He never even counted up the cost. He jumped up because of emotion with money, feeling good. And then I started to tell him, well, you ain't gonna be able to do that no more. Well, you can't do that. You got to get away from that. Now he started to set back and say, what the world I done got myself into? Now he starts to waver. You see that? He doesn't have stability, because you know what? He need a foundation. A foundation critical. A lot of times, this is what we do as people, human beings. We'll move for, sometimes it could be a woman, sometimes it could be a man, sometimes it could be a job, sometimes it could be a court case. It be a lot of things. I know I've been locked up probably 9 times in my life, and you know what? I want to find religion. There ain't nobody, before go to jail, they're looking at that time, let me read your Bible. How many times you see that stuff? So I'm just being honest, how many times you seen that? Guys get religion. They get locked up. And you get them back out, they get on the street. I seen them get that jailhouse cross. Get out talking about they ain't gonna drink and they ain't gonna smoke. That thing you see them with a cigarette. You like, that thing you see them with a bill. That thing that cross gone.
Yep.
Isn't that right? They threw that cross away their back because they didn't have a foundation. And the purpose of why they were seeking him wasn't for salvation. That's why a lot of times you have to look. You can do something, but eventually, at some point, you need to start seeing some advancement. And a lot of times people say, well, I'm trying, I'm doing everything I could do. That's not actually always true. Because if you are, you'll see some advancement. See, I sat from the pews, so I'm not a person came out the womb and started preaching. I'm a person that made a whole lot of mistakes. A lot of mistakes. It was like just beating your head against the ground. It's just that point. Why even think about it? Because it just seems so unattainable. But the problem was, every time I would feel like that and get like that, you ain't gonna believe what the problem was. I was still doing something I had no business. I was never feeling like that now. when it came down to doing everything I had to do. It was when I was trying to hold on to something. I was still trying to do something. It seemed obtainable. It's always going to be unobtainable. It's unobtainable when you're doing something you're supposed to do. That's why a person had to consider, how much does it cost? All right. He said the redemption of your soul is costly. Let's see. So this is our foundation, Romans 15:4. Listen.
For whatever Nikatah before.
What is whatever? Can we look up the word whatever? You know, sometimes you had to say something to me. Whatever. See, we throw it around so loosely. What are you saying? It's words I'm looking at when you hear things. If it doesn't spark you to an intelligence to seek more of his word, you need to go back and read it again. That's just being honest. He said, for when the time you ought to be teachers, Moray, he said, you have need the one teacher again. You ain't gonna believe what it be. The what principle? Principle of elementary code. The elementary code is you need to be taught again. And now you become one that's in need of milk and not meat. Because he told you meat belongs to them that are what? Full age, which are able to do what? Discern. When you can't discern, please don't grab no meat. I would never get no 2-year-old baby no fish with no bone in it. Somebody let them figure it out. You'll kill that baby. Isn't that right? You got to give it somebody that's able to discern and know you pull that much, this is meat. Somebody pull something, big bone, that thing, I ate a fish that, man, that thing stuck in between it was stuck in trying to, I tried to get, and I'm a big man, I'm supposed to know better. But I was hitting and going and got a little risky. I said, man, these little backs ain't getting, I need a bigger piece. That bone was I got it though, but see, a baby never would have got rid of it. And that's what happened a lot of time with people when it come to word. Used to emphasize a lack of restrictions in referring to anything or an amount, no matter. Let's go back and look at it. Hold on, did you get a picture? Y'all got a picture? I want you to consider this. This hurts us. It's key words that strike us a lot of time in our reading that we miss, that why we don't eventually evolve. Because you'll get comfortable, you just run over something, you don't realize you're missing key words. If he told me whatever, and if whatever means it's used to emphasize, so he just said whatever is used to emphasize a lack of restriction in referring to anything or an amount, no matter. I'm a New Testament creature. That's going to hurt me when he just told me whatever. Isn't that right? That's just being honest, because he's telling me the importance of what I'm doing. I need to know. Sometimes we get comfortable because we, like, what that mean when he say something, whatever. So we throw it around so loosely that when things are put in a context for us to understand it for our learning, we miss it. Because who thinks to look up a word like me? Who thinks to look up, why would I look up whatever? Who don't know what whatever is? Whatever. That's common sense, isn't it? But then when you look at it in this setting, it's used to emphasize a lack of restriction. That means it comes down when I go back and read the word, whether it's New Testament or Old Testament, whatever.
Yeah.
Some of that stuff, some of that stuff, we don't have to read that today. Whatever. See, it make a difference. Whatever. It's an emphasis put on it. That there are no restrictions. We're going back to read it because it plays a vital key part of our salvation. This is why people build a different organization. If everybody would do what they're supposed to do, we wouldn't need these names. People would just operate. It doesn't make sense. There's no way I can take Little Red Riding Hood and I can go take it. I can go take it anywhere in Europe. I can take it anywhere in China. I can take it anywhere in the Middle East. I can take it anywhere in Africa. I can take it anywhere in South America. Nobody's going to tell me Little Red Riding Hood wore a blue dress. Nobody's going to tell me Little Red Riding Hood was a man, transvestite. Sooner we get to the book and the book restricts a man from behavior, Yahushua was gay. He was with 12 men. When did he tell you that?
Never.
He tried to get homosexuality.
That's right.
Everybody, see, what you can't find. Go on YouTube and just see, can you find a debate about the 3 little pigs? That it was actually 7. Nobody's going to, you know what people tell you? If I sat in school and started reading the 3 little pigs and start writing 5 pigs, then people going to start, the kids say, hold on, wait a minute. What is he reading? It's the 3 little pigs. I'm saying, I don't get it. What's the problem? You don't have a problem when the book is read to you and it's interpreted wrong. But little nursery rhymes, people will defend. You don't see it on the news where people argue about the 3 little bears. Nobody holler there was another bear hid, nobody seen. It was some more bears in the backyard. Everybody know it was 3 little bears and the redhead stepchild. See, even y'all looked at me saying, I never read that story. Well, how do you come up with a story that you can't define? And the book never told you that. That's why you have to have a foundation, because it's with your soul. You know what people will argue about if I read Little Red Riding Hood with the blue dress? People have a problem. People have a problem with the 4 little pigs instead of 3 little pigs, whatever it is. Nobody got a problem with the book being misinterpreted and they reading and saying it don't say that. It don't say that. Nobody is defending that point. But this is the only thing that attaches to your soul. And when you consider your soul, which is more valuable? You're talking about something that's going to carry you from life through Mut, which is death, over the transfer into Alahym Ka'id, which is eternal life. Yet people are sitting around there, people tell them anything. Doesn't matter. But they'll defend Little Red Riding Hood with the blue dress.
Yeah.
They'll defend Goldilocks with the redhead stepchild. People defend all this stuff. Nobody would defend him.
That's right.
From him. All right, so now we're looking at for
whatever.
Whatever that means. Whatever. That's all it means. Whatever. No, he's telling you whatever.
Nikatab.
Without restrictions. Do you know if you taught this in these different religious institutions, you'll stop a whole lot of behavior of people telling you stuff don't matter? Why would he tell you that whatever was is past tense?
Katab.
Katab, which is written.
Before.
What before? Was.
Nikatab.
Was written.
To Lamadus.
To teach is to instruct, to enlighten, and to show. The average of these religious institutes, we don't just put this on Christianity. We want to put this on every religion. We want to put this on our religion. Because a lot of time what's happened, the basis for people's salvation and for people understanding has been lost because of the ideology and because of the agenda of the preacher.
Yeah.
If the truth want to be told, members don't run preachers.
That's right.
Preachers allow things to happen because that's where they're hard at.
That's right.
You guys collectively can't make me move from nothing. Not nothing he said, because my contract, my agreement ain't with you. My agreement with him. To say that the people said, and for me to just let go of what he given me. And that's going to be a violation. Y'all got it? And see, once people start understanding the process of how the whole operation works, from coming over from committing sin, first of all, identifying what sin is, how sin is committed, and now you realize this is a state all of us know. You just didn't realize when you get into a violation, because a lot of these violations ain't told. That's the purpose of telling people they're new creatures. When they really the old creatures, they're doing the same thing. It's because misinformation, disinformation hurts people. In order to pack out religious institutions now, you tell people what makes them feel good versus what's right. The principles of right should never be altered. They should never be compromised. They should never be set to if people allow it to be done. Does not make a difference. Right is right. Y'all got it? So now we learned that for whatever, which means without restriction. You need to know that. I think, no, it was written. Now, although we don't do everything that is written now, pay attention. But why is it written? To show you, to teach you, and instruct you. Now, this is where some of these religions get off. They heard whatever was written before. He said we're supposed to do everything that's written. That means everybody got to get naked. Because when they rendered Adam and Ka'ur were naked. That's right. Well, take your clothes off. You better not try it. But why was it written though? Teach us. See, that's why you got it. The first thing they go back to, when they hear whatever without restriction, that means everybody supposed to take their clothes off again. That's why you need a murray. You have to have a teacher. It was written for your learning. Y'all got it? For your learning. Y'all got it? Okay. Let's see why. To teach us, to show us, and instruct us, so that through endurance, going through without quitting. That's important. So a lot of time, the average of us will quit. People have been religious. How many of y'all been members of other religions before and quit? Well, why? Because it wasn't there to make you endure. Wasn't no reason to keep enduring. These are things that people need to consider. That whatever was written for our learning, to teach us, to show us, and instruct us. And it was also written so I wouldn't quit. Why? So you know what people look at? Quote, hypothetical. God don't want me to be saved. Why else would it be hard on me? Why would I be going through? Why would my bills be an issue? Why would I have problems in my marriage? Because he don't want me to be saved. No, I want you to be saved. That's why I wrote something so you'll endure. You won't quit. But now it's not a time to read. You want to pray. But you're praying and you lack something. You lack understanding. So when you have the understanding, then guess what? You know how to palau. Prayer is only meaning to ask. That's what praying is. You're asking. It's palau. But when you lack the understanding, you don't know what to pray for. Mm-hmm. That's why you need a teacher. So now we realize that going through here, that whatever was written without a restriction was written to show us, teach us, and instruct us. Sometimes you get in a situation, I don't know what to do. So what I'm going to use? I call my aunt. My aunt a smart lady. Real smart. Ain't that what it's saying?
Scripture.
What's that? I'm supposed to go back to the writing. If it's something, and this is what they look at, well, it's not really a biblical situation. Everything you do is a biblical situation.
That's right.
Because the writings teach us how to live.
That's right.
The writing teach me how to deal with my fellow man.
That's right.
But people just want to look at, well, it's not a situation where I need to turn water into wine. You know what I'm saying? But you need to be refined. Mm-hmm. It's time for you to be refined, so you need to come back to the word. What's the order? What's the precedent that he set for me on how to live? So when situations happen, I know how to overcome them. And that's what we lack a lot of time. People got the zeal or enthusiasm, jumping, running, hollering, dancing. None of this is salvation. I mean, it's emotion. When you go to a baseball game, everybody jump up. It was 3 seconds left, and they needed that shot. Everybody jump up. What is that? Ra Shyth, that's the Holy Ghost. So all you're doing is emotions. It's where you look to exemplify them. And a lot of times people will trade out emotions for salvation. See, salvation ain't just jumping and hollering. Salvation is living. When you get through cartwheeling and running around the room and bouncing out the wall, watch me live. Mm-hmm. Watch me live. That's the key, but you won't get it unless you get an understanding of the writing, okay? So y'all understand that? Now listen what happened. Now, through me not quitting, what has to happen?
And through the nakum.
The nakum is the word for consolation. Consolation, a prize or reward. One thing will keep you going. Just like when you ran track, was it times you want to stop? Yes. But you kept going, looking at the prize. Same thing with a lot of us. You look at the prize. So the prize will keep you going. He realized in order to keep man going, there has to be a reward. Hello? Even YashaYahu talking about laying hold on, what was it? Alahym Kai. He thought he fought a good fight. He kept on. He was looking to lay hold on Alahym Kai, which is eternal life. The word Alahym for us means long. A lot of times we talked about before, although when we use English words, a lot of times we don't look at things the way they saw it. Nobody understood forever and ever without end simply because you can't fathom that in your mind. What is forever and ever in your mind? When is your mind eventually stop? That's forever is like forever. You walk away from it. Your mind gets, because it's like your mind, think on forever and ever and ever. How long your mind? Just go take off. Forever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever. Eventually your mind says, okay, that's enough of that. So only thing they knew it meant a long time. You give people what they can process. Let me tell you what hurt our people. People recite things, but they really don't understand them. You just tell them, people reciters. Versus, do you realize, how many of y'all mind in here comprehend ever and ever, forever and ever and ever and ever? Just go in your mind forever and ever. You will tire out because it doesn't have an end. So it's hard for man to fathom things because what do we know? Things ending. Go somewhere and have a good time. What happened? Time to go. Eat something you like, now it's all gone. Everything you pretty much know ends. Y'all got it. It has an end to it. So when you start to put your mind on ever, 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 you just understand it's a long time. Long time. Long and long time. That's what they understood. That's how they processed it. Y'all got it? So we try to process it as he gave it to us. We are humans, mankind. Understand what you are. So when you're reading the book is written in a format to where the situations that you take, that you read about, are all situations that you can relate to. and just give you an idea about related, when you go to a family reunion, those people who are all there, what are they, how are you connected?
Relatives.
Relative, y'all related. You say you're related, which means we have common things, something common that connects us. So what was the purpose of giving you the writings? Because the people that you're going to read about, you have something that connects you. That's the purpose of giving you the writing, because you all are related. That's why he gives them statements when he called them Ben of Adam, that they'll have in the English translation, they will call Son of Man. Son of Man throws them off because it all goes back. He's relating to one man. Whenever he's referencing man, he's calling him one man. He's calling him Adam. Adam was his son. So those that sprouted from Adam became his children.
Right.
They're the offsprings. That's what you look at, the offsprings. You got it? When you take seeds from something and you grow it and you take it from it and you sprout, those are offsprings. So you got to start to understand how you see things and how things are given to you, so you understand the relations. Y'all got it? Relations. That's what they call it when a man and woman come together. They have relations. Y'all got it? And this is what we're trying to do with Yahuwah. We're trying to solidify our relationship. Y'all got it? We're trying to get to where we can have relations. Y'all got it? So we become more abundant. Think of yourself as he'll give it to you. So now he's giving you something to keep you from quitting. And guess what your not quitting comes from? And your reward comes from?
Ketubim.
Of the writings, plural. This sends you back to all the writing that we might have.
Tikva.
Tikva is a cord, which is an attachment used to hold something. With saying that, we talked about on Come and She Later, they're called Wednesday night. We went back to kind of look at how your inheritance is given to you and how you take on the possession of. This is something we're trying to do. Let's see what possession is. Can we look up the definition for possession? I'm just curious, what is possession? I know we know these words. People say, man, give me my possessions. But a lot of times we use them just kind of commonly used. We never really looked them up to see exactly how was the word defined. We just know how, like I told you, man, whatever. But I never really knew what that meant. That meant to me, whatever mean, man, get out of my face, shut up talking. When that's not the definition. Okay? The state of having, owning, or controlling, that's important. Y'all see what that is? What is he talking about? The state of owning or controlling something. You know who should told you about on the fires? He told you to possess it. How many of y'all knew what that meant? Exactly. I ain't worried about it. I know possess. I know what possess means. How many of y'all seen The Omen? See what I'm saying? A lot of times, what's the relationship? Because we take things for good. So basically what he told you to do, that's the state of having, owning, or controlling something. Now, this is dangerous because you're supposed to be able to control your members. Your members will be your hands, your eyes, your feet, your heart, all your operating function, your mind. You got to be able to control. He told you, listen, in your patience, in your waiting. He told you to possess your nefesh. Now, we failed at this because we took it to, he's talking about get the Holy Ghost and let the Holy we start taking out with things he never said. This becomes a responsibility of us. See, typically how we've been given things, everything will change once you get the Ruach, which is the spirit. The Ruach is the wind. They never, nobody understand it. They all try to explain something, how they understood everything from was common things. The wind is the spirit. That's how they understood. Cause, okay, somebody do this. Get up. Come from Barbara. You're pretty smart, fella. Man. Come stand right here. Showing the spirit. Just draw it out. No idea what do your hand, just try to. I'm okay, it's good. And I expected that. He'd started, I was gonna give him a check. I knew he didn't. So the only way they correlated the spirit was with the wind. The kadim. That's the wind. Because they understood that there was a factor that caused things to move that you didn't see, but you could see the operation of the movement of it by the objects that it moved. Like you saw leaves on the ground, they set. Well, when the wind come, what happened? So guess what they understood? That's the Ruach. So we're understanding that when the wind comes, or the Ruach, it can change a direction. Now, where those leaves will land or paper land, you ever seen sometimes, you don't see a little wind be going, that's a little spinning? Now, the only reason you know that because of the dirt that's in, or the paper, trash you get. So now you see how the spirit can operate inside of. See that? Based off of the what? The wind, based off of, let me draw it. Makes no sense. Because everybody keep trying to go somewhere. Everything correlates. What hurts us is everybody been trying to operate outside of. Okay? Let me show you something. 2 Corinthians 7. Y'all had to forgive me, I ain't have nothing wrote up. Why would I have it anyway? Not that it's a sin. As Jerry Seinfeld said about him, not that it's a sin to be gay. He just let him know he wasn't. 2 Corinthians 7:1. All right. Listen.
Therefore, when we have the Shaba, my Kabibi, let
2 Corinthians 7:1.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's see.
Therefore, when we have the Shaba.
Kabibi is beloved. Kabibi is beloved. He said, listen, therefore we have these promises. He's doing Kabibi will be my beloved. Come on.
Let us cleanse ourselves from all defilement.
What he said he was going to do? He said he was going to come down and do what to us?
Let us cleanse ourselves.
Cleanse ourselves from what?
All defilement.
Of the what?
Basar.
And what happened?
And Ruach.
Doing what?
Talmim, Kodash.
That's right, making it, completing. All perfect is complete. If something is perfect, what can you do to something that's perfect? So that means you through, right? If you can't do nothing else with it, what does it mean? It's finished. You ain't gonna believe it. That's all time means. See, the words we use, perfect. Perfect is like nothing wrong with it. I mean, like it doesn't need anything. Yeah, that's time mean. It means complete. There's nothing you can do with it. See, the way they rationalize, you gotta remember something. As man has grown and gotten himself into all these different inventions, information, and called himself become more student educated, he's moved away from the basics. Although they changed the word, it still pulls right back to the basics. The basics is really looking at how did they register? You're trying to obtain something, a relationship that people who are in the writings had. You're trying to obtain something they had that you don't have, and you're going to try to teach it to them how it should have went. Do you know how retarded you have to be? That you're going to teach people who possessed it, who are written, who in the right, and now because of your education and your research and study, and you come back to found something that nobody found, and then you can teach him. This is how far man has gone. Versus, why won't man come back and re-examine, reassess what he had? Because man does not have what he claiming to have. It makes no sense because you're operating outside of the system. Can we see what a system is? I know it look like I just look up words. Well, what's the purpose of doing something you don't know what you're doing?
That's right.
It's futile. What's the purpose of it? You don't know what you're doing. Okay? Before you get me that, why he got that? Well, see that YashaYahu. YashaYahu, they call it Isaiah YashaYahu. YashaYahu, see if that's 29 and 10. What's that? Yahuwah is salvation. YashaYahu. See, the names have a meaning. Isaiah, we don't know what it means. It's the translation. YashaYahu. 29 and 10. Listen what he did. Listen.
For Yahuwah has poured over you.
Yahuwah, and the reason why I use the name is sound and vibration. Yahuwah. Can y'all say it? Yahuwah. That's right, breath. His name means the existing one. That's be what God means. God is a title. Superman is a God, Wonder Woman is God. Who they are not is Yahuwah. This is a name. God is not a name. Father is not a name. If they tell my son, ask him, what is your father's name? He tell them Father, they're going to definitely know that something mentally is wrong with him. Because that is not my name. I can't put that on no application that my name is Father. I had to put my name down, what it is, stated. So now we're looking at him. This is his name, Yahuwah. Yahuwah, they'll put Yahweh, they pronounce Yahweh, but Yahuwah is the existing one. Has
poured over you
the who?
Ruach of deep sleep.
See, so you wonder why you sleep? You wonder why you're not conscious? The wind is following you. So now what do we find about the spirit? The spirit, like we learned with the wind, it's a controlling factor. So he put a controlling factor on you to why you can't be conscious. And we're not talking about the physical sleep. We're talking about the fact that man is asleep when it comes down to the will of Alahym. Y'all got it? Man is asleep. He told you why. The wind. He's telling you what happened. The wind. It ain't a physical man did it to you. Listen.
He has shut your
Your That's important for your What do we know from the Alaph Byth? Let's see the Alaph Byth. The Alaph Byth is the chart where we go back and look at when writing started, where we know it as being. Which we know the first writing we found out was the hieroglyphs. Hieroglyphs by definition means what? It means to write using pictures. Come over, let's see. Oh, these are. So these are hieroglyphs. This is early. This means this is the first way man started writing. Phoenician writing. This is the first writing, Middle East writing. Now you'll see them start scripting more to here. What we'll call the modern. It's very similar. You'll look at people in Asawa that the Greeks call Asia. It means where the sun rises. It's crazy when you call somebody eyes because their eyes seem to be Asian. Asian does not mean a person's eyes slanted. It's a region. It means when the Greeks came to get the name Asawa, it means that's where the sun rises first. That's what they looked at. The sun rises there first. It does not mean Chinese people. So now we start looking at this is man's early writing, which are pictograms. He used an ox head, an olive to let us know about strong power leader. So with this picture, we know exactly the meaning. So now we'll look at the Come to the The eye, which is called the With the what do we do with the eye? And you watch, and guess what you do? No. So now if he poured out on you the spirit of sleep, what you just lack? You lack knowing, which means you lack knowledge. See, this is not the physical. People looking at people physical sleep, like how to close I can sleep. Oh, he just poured the spirit of deep sleep on him. See, don't be. See, this is not intelligent. That's not intelligent. See, I want to teach you the intelligent way. The intelligent way is that your eyes are open, but you cannot comprehend. See, what people fell out and they start judging people with somebody, this is a physical. When Yahushua had the Shalachim, they call it apostles. Shalachim, it means the sent one. No one knows apostles. This is stuff that they gave you later in the Pope and people start putting together. So now you start to go back and look at the sent ones when they came along. They fell asleep. And he told you that the Ruach was what? Willing, but so you can be as spiritually motivated as you want to. But when the flesh tires, you're going to sleep. And the first thing we'll associate if you go to sleep, you ain't trying to be saved. You're tired. But just showing you when he talked about him pouring out the spirit of deep sleep, so what he did, he poured out the Ruach. He tell you this was done from the Ruach, so you don't know how to. Let me come back again right quick. I'm going to come back right here. Let me see the chart again. So guess what happened? Here to keep you from watching. He told you to watch. Well, how you going to do that if the Ruach been poured upon you of deep sleep? You can't watch. The only way you can know is you have to have what's called da'ath, which is knowledge, range of information. So now since it's been poured out, you can't see, watch, or know. Shade, because you can cover the eye. So what happened, like people say, man, you throwing shade. You trying to cover them up, and they're throwing shade. You trying to shine, and they say street, so people can't see you throwing shade. Amazingly, look at it. This is street terminology, but it's right here in your Alaph Byth. Let's go back and look at what happened. See, when you have the information, it makes a difference of what you can do. Listen, for now, who did this? The
Yahuwah.
existing one has poured over you the ruach of,
Deep sleep.
it ain't just sleep. You're so far back, you don't even realize it. He has,
Shut your
how about he shaded your eyes, your The
Nabaim.
Nabaim is what they call them. They study flow, not prophets. Prophets really refer to something else, but that's the terminology they use. And he has
Covered your head.
the who?
Seers.
That's important because the Nabah, the reason why you would keep what they would call prophets Nabah is because they had the vision.
Right.
If you want to know something he was going to do, you went to them and consulted, and they could tell you to show you that people understand it. Why y'all think these people go to mediums?
Right. Right.
Why y'all think they go to palm readers?
Right.
See, you can see the attribute of that. Think of how many people tarot card. What are you using them for?
The sea.
To try to see ahead of. So the purpose of him giving you the Nabah was that they would be there so you could know what was coming. Y'all got it? What was soon to happen. Now he said, I poured it out over them, so guess what? You can't watch. You can't see, and you don't have the knowledge. Let's see what he did.
The entire Kazum.
Which is the vision. Kazun is the name of the book, not Revelation. The book is actually called Kazun, which means vision. Shall be what?
To you, like the Abarym of a sealed scroll.
See that? That's why scroll book. That's why I talk about the Sefer. What happened?
Which they gave it to one knowing.
Now to prove it to you, he poured it out. The person he said you give it to somebody who know. I'm gonna show you. That's the proof. It makes sense to give it to somebody who don't know. I'm gonna prove it to you. I just said I told you that you won't know and you can't see it. So give it to somebody that knows. Now, when they give it to somebody that knows, tell them what happened.
Saying,
do what?
Please read this.
Please read this.
He shall say, I cannot.
And he shall say, I can what?
I cannot.
I can what?
Cannot.
Why?
For it is sealed.
Guess what they knew? Yahuwah done poured it out on them. Guess what? He told them before it happened. Why did he say, this is what happened to your Nabal in the past? He's telling them what's going to happen. It does not make sense to keep telling about what happened in the past because they're in what they call the future or the present tense.
Right.
So I'm in the present, the past is good to a point, but I need to know what's going to happen.
Right.
So he's letting them know that I'm going to put the Ruach upon your Nabah, your Nabaim, that when you get them the scroll, when you get these people to write it, they're not going to be able to tell you what it says. Therefore, you can't watch. Y'all see, let's see some right. Chabakuk. They call it Habakkuk. Chabakuk is the name. Chabakuk. Is that right? Kchabakak. Let me see. So that 2 and 1. Let's see what he told you. Listen.
I shall stand on my guard post.
That's what he said. He said, I shall stand on my what?
My guard post.
What would a guard be doing?
Watching.
Wow. Chabakuk said he will stand on his guard. That means I'm on the defense, right? On my guard post and do what?
And station myself on the rampart.
On the rampart. That's at the top. And this one. And I do what?
I shall keep watch to see.
Hold on. I shall do what?
Keep watch.
To do what?
To see.
What?
He shall speak to me.
And?
How I may reply when I am reproved.
And this is what he told him to do.
Then Yahuwah answered me and said.
Then the existing one answered me and said.
Katab the Kazum.
Look, write the vision. He want him to write the Kazum and
inscribe it on tablets.
I want you to put it on tablets that.
The one who reads it may run.
They'll know exactly what they're supposed to do. Because whatever written the 4th time, what was it written for?
Alahym.
Learning. The teachers to show us and instruct us. So when they read the writing, they knew exactly what to do. They knew exactly what to do when they read the writing.
That's right.
So now when you look at he's someone pour out the ruach, a deep sleep on them, and they don't know and they can't interpret it, then you don't know what to do. This is a problem and this is a violation. See, he's basically telling you, I'm going to allow, these people are going to be in transgression. We talked about what sin is. Sin is a transgression of the Torah, which is of the law. Torah is just instruction. People get caught up and they use a whole lot of terminology. All law is something that regulates a rule, a code that regulates a particular behavior. This is what it actually does. So when we look at it, we're looking at instructions for us. This is why when he gave it to them, he also told them what to do. So they didn't see Torah like a law, 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 law. No, they saw it as instructions. When Abraham was told to get out of his father's house, what did he holler? Law, law, law. No, he moved because this was instructions. This was direction to get out of your father's house. And he was going to go into a country where he was going to tell him, I'm giving you law. He gave them instruction, people. This is why people mess up. So are we under the law? Yes, we're under instructions.
Yeah.
That's why we're going back and reading. The problem with people miss with the law is people miss how to follow instructions. In the book of Ra Shyth, that's what we found with Adam and Ka'ua. He told them of every tree, let's see something, 2 and 16. It's called Ra Shyth. And the reason why I call Ra Shyth, it means in the beginning. See, when we understand what things say, then we know. Ra Shyth, which in the height of beginning. 2:16. Ra Shyth. It means in the height, in the beginning, in the start. It's important to know when you go back and look. Listen.
Yahuwah Alahym commanded to the Adam, saying.
See that? That's it. He commanded to the man, saying.
From any ox of the garden you may freely
eat tree of the garden you may freely eat. Can we see what free means or freely? I'll let you do free. Then we'll add the suffix li. Li! Free. Not under the control or in the power of another. Able to act or be done as one desire. They use wishes. I don't like wishes. A lot of times these words, terminology, runs back over to a lot of satanic words. We don't wish. We don't block no counters on no cake. That's actually goes back to etymology. It goes back to this Greekology, mythology stuff, Greek mythology. Zeus' daughter blowing out candles for her birthday, making wishes. So we don't do no wish. I don't wish for nothing. Okay? So this is what he told him. Not under the control or in the power of another, able to act or be done as one desires. Y'all got that? I'm going to show y'all something. I'm going to show you what he did. Y'all listen to what he told him. Are y'all getting this?
Yes, sir.
Listen.
But from the ox of the...
But in definition means rather. So anytime I'm telling you rather, I'm telling you another side. It don't make sense to say but and keep in the statement. I'm telling you there is another option. Okay? Let's see.
But from the ox of the da'ath of Tub and Ra Shyth.
But of the tree of knowledge, da'ath. Okay? Listen.
And Ra Shyth.
And Ra Shyth, which is evil.
You shall not eat from it.
He said you shall not eat of it.
For in the yom that you eat from it.
For the day when you eat of it.
You shall surely moot.
You're going to die. Moot is die, be murdered. It ain't just die, it means to murder. It means to crucify. It has more than one meaning. It means to murder. Moot will also fit if a person is murdered. Y'all got it? So he told you the day you do it, you're going to be murdered. Y'all got it? Let's see something at the 3rd chapter, same book, 7, verse 7. Because now he's giving him his liberties. He also gave him his strongholds. Pay attention. What he's telling him, these are your liberties. This is your stronghold. Y'all got it? I just told him he could do it freely without restriction, right? That means you have freedom, right? That's not a violation. There's not a law against it. But when you violate this one, this is going to be your stronghold. No people talking, help me break my stronghold. This is foolishness. You create your stronghold. Once he tells you what's your liberties, this keeps you out of violation. Once he tell you where your stronghold, you get them. Don't be asking that man talking about singing no song about no stronghold. You got yourself in your stronghold. You tell him, he just clearly told him. Without risk, do you think he told him freely and the man had no idea to him, You got a dictionary? He had to know what it means. He had to know what it meant. How can you charge a person? If a person is mentally incompetent, you can't charge them as you charge other people when they commit crimes. So why would he tell him that if he didn't have the ability to do it? Because he made a choice. That's why you have to sit back and consider your latter end. What he should have considered. Considering hungry now, eat now, be full, have this information, but you're going to die. I'm going to murder you if you do it. Which means he didn't consider his latter end. This is what you do. Now when you caught, guess what you're going to do? Oh, please forgive me. Can I get up and I repent? How about the best repentance is, how about you never done it?
That's right.
This is why he has a problem with us. Because I'm telling you clearly, your liberties are here. No, he can say here and tell me, I can touch this, I can eat it. You free. I can eat this. You free. I can have this. Free. There's not a violation. What about this? You're going to die. I'm going to murder you if you touch, not only if you eat it, if you touch it. Let's see what she told her 3 and 1 right quick. I know I called 7. Ra Shyth, in the height, in the beginning. See why that's important? Because he told us, I declare the end at the beginning. Why is man dying now? He died because I told you in the beginning what happened. I gave man his liberties. And I gave man his stronghold that was going to make me put him in a state where I was going to murder him. I was going to kill him. I was going to crucify him. And guess what? Guess which act you chose? You ain't going to believe it. You said murder me. Kill me. See, nobody, does it make sense when I'm explaining it to you? Because people try to memorize. What is the purpose of pushing me on the ground? Putting something in my head and putting something and throwing me on the ground. I don't need no religion to throw me on the ground. I've done enough throwing myself on the ground. I need something to get me up. I need intelligence. Let's see what he told us. Now, this is what he told. Now,
the Nakash,
this is the word for serpent, not serpent, was
more crafty than
he was
any
more
beast
crafty
of the
than
field,
any beast of the field, which
Yahuwah Alahym had made.
So guess what they said? You know, the serpent made itself. They're so ignorant. What did this book just tell you? Where did people get this stuff from? These folk creating themselves from.
That's right.
He just clearly told you, I created it. Come on.
And he said to the Asha.
He said to the woman, Isha, should be Isha for the woman. Isha. And the reason you're going to use Isha, because that's something that came out of the man. Okay, Isha is important because she came out from the man. And we need to refer to them again so you remember where they come from. Women have a hard problem. Remember, don't forget where you came from. Start talking about me, my side hurt. When they start talking about do this, hey, what's wrong? Because you came out of me. Then let them know you're an issue. And that's why when you get them, you have an issue. They'll call you to have an issue. All of them ain't clapping. They want to say, where them little cards at we can vote on it? So the issue, indeed,
has Alahym said, you should not eat from any ox of the gun.
He said, see, this is how they trick you. That's what people do. Now I'm going to try you on your liberties. So you can't eat out of none. You can't eat from none of this. He knew what she had. That's how you get tricked. So your religion, you can't do none of this. You involved in this conversation, they're trying to pull you off into something. They're trying to make you feel like you ain't your own person. Trying to make you feel you're under somebody's control and you need to be free to do whatever you want to do. But that's a crafty question. So you can't eat from none of these trees. When did she say, look, this is how you get tied up. And I tell women now, don't get into all these conversations. He didn't ever tell her, so you can't eat from this tree. That's how you get in the conversation. So you can't eat from none of this in here. Let's see what she said.
The Isha said to the Nakash.
See, the issue, because she's definitely the issue right now. The issue, the Isha said to the serpent, to the Nakash.
From the pari of the ox of the gun.
From the fruit of from the trees of the gun.
We may eat.
We may eat. Hold on. From what part? The woman said, from the pari of the trees of the gun we may eat. Come on.
But from the pari of the ox, which is in the middle of the gun.
See, the one that's in the middle of the gun?
Alahym has said, you shall not eat from it, nor touch it, lest you moot.
Now, listen, this became important for you later. I'll tell you since you read it. Are you hear they told her? Now, listen, to keep you, this is what we call prerequisite to keep you from getting to that point. First of all, before you eat it, what you have to do? So get what he did to help you out. Don't even touch it. Let's stop even getting to the remote part of doing it. A lot of stuff people look at when they get in transgression, a lot of it, you start the prerequisites of it.
That's right. That's
foreplay.
right.
Where foreplay going? 5 play.
Yeah.
There's no way to 4-play and not 5 play.
12 play.
You see what I'm saying? So now you start looking at all these things you look at. So what they said, 12? Oh, I don't know what. I missed all that. But yeah, whatever Kelly did. He's still in jail, ain't he? I tell you about that number, don't I? So now you start looking at all these were prerequisites to keep you from violating. That's why he told him, how about don't touch versus, well, I was touching it and that thing I know. So how about this? Don't touch it.
That's right. That's
don't
right.
touch it. She said, now he told me don't eat it. He told us don't touch it.
That's right.
And let's see what happened.
Lest you moot.
Lest you see that? Lest what?
You moot.
So she knew what listen, the conversation we heard in 2 and 16 was Adam and Yahuwah, not Ka'ur there. Yet she knew, which means she was taught that he said he will murder us if we eat it. Let's see what happened.
The Nakash said to the Isha,
the serpent said to the woman,
you surely shall not move.
See that? Now he done convinced her outside of something he told her. See, now the problem, now we know what she lacked. Who know? Yeah. Well, it been belief. She lacked belief. Because he just told her something. If I just told you the day you eat it, you go die, neither should you touch it, and you go and do it, then you lack something.
You don't believe it.
Don't even look at amunah, which is stability to stand, because you first have to believe.
That's right.
See, people try to move straight to amunah, you can't have it, because you got to look at how all these things come into play. That knowledge come in the first belief, and through that belief, you establish the amunah. Y'all got it, which means you establish the belief, to where you establish what they would call the faith, the amunah, the way you had a stability that you don't move, but you first got to believe it. Okay? Let's see. Verse 5.
For Alahym knows that in the womb that you eat from it, your womb shall be open.
See that? Now that and guess why he told? Now that's why he said, I done poured out the ruach a deep sleep on him. Because now the serpent trying to tell him the day they eat it, your eyes are gonna be open, and you shall be like
Alahym.
Which Alahym means the mighty ones. Alahym is a plural statement which puts the Father and the Son in conjunction together. Knowing
Tube and Rosha.
See that? That's all they knew. So at that point, all they knew was what before that? They know but Tube. All way to know Rosha would have committed. Only thing they knew was good. Listen, all I know is liberties. I hadn't did nothing to violate to find out what are my restrictions. What's going to be my stronghold? What's going to be my fall? So right now, they've been operating in just pure liberty. You see how important this is? So the day when they ate it, he knew it. No, guess what happened? Now you set yourself in a different position. Now you'll see why the writers came when Yahushua, who they called Joshua, when he took them over the Yam, which is over the sea. He asked them to do what that day? Choose what? This day, that's right. Because guess what? Now you don't, that's where you at now. You don't know to do right. Now you gotta make choices. He said he actually made choices. Then the gun in 2 and 16, he asked Adam to choose which one he was gonna eat. You don't even know it. He said you don't even know to do wrong. So why would I ask you that? All you know how to do is do right. I'm not gonna ask you to choose nothing, because all you know to do is you do what I tell you. That's why Torah is direction. If you do what I tell you, there's no reason you have to make no choice to do wrong.
That's right.
But the problem becomes that you set yourself to try to see what you can get by or over with. All I'm asking, 2 and 16, he never asked them to choose. After this, everybody went into choosing. Whether you want to stay bound or you want to be free.
Right.
Let's see what happened.
When the Isha saw that the ox was tubed for food, and that it was a delight to the
See that? That lit up. Her eyes lit up when she heard that. And
that the ox was desirable to make one wise.
She did what?
Took from its pari and ate. And she gave also to her husband with her, and he ate.
And what happened?
Then the of both of them were opened.
And
They knew that they were naked.
and
They sewed leaves of fig tree together and made for themselves loin coverings.
see that? They covered the bottom part. That's what they did. Loin covering. She left the top part off. You see the African movie, you'll see the woman walking around the breasts out. Because anybody knew it. All they knew, she knew to cover the bottom. But see, you can't get away with that now. Because later on, he came back. When he came in the gun to talk to him, he made him something to cover up. You'll get these people say, see, back then, man just covered the bottom. Yeah, the only problem we got when we keep reading this on down, he going to clearly tell you that he came back and made something more appropriate.
That's right. That's right.
Back then, you're going to say, let's see, let's jump down to verse 19. It don't take that long. They ain't getting by with nothing. They ain't going to say, I told them, they're not going to go say, I told them to walk around, let them tata be flopping down. I didn't tell you that. So he said, see, we go back to like they just had on the bottom. I got booked.
Mm-hmm.
So I ain't got no error. I ain't got no thinking and no figuring. I got what the man said. So I don't care what they wearing now in a kibalon that they call Arabic. The original name is a kibalon. Isn't that right? That's the mother creation for it. That's what they can refer to Africa. It's a kibalon. They gave you the name Africa. That is not the original name. Everybody get names that oppressors have given people, and that's why a lot of times we lack da'ah, because you don't know what I mean. All you know is what they gave you. And then a scripio africana. Here's somebody he came out and he came out he came in there and he colonized the place. He destroyed the place. It's an insult. Listen. This is what he told the man, 3:19. Listen, by
the sweat of your panee,
you shall do what?
Eat lakam.
Till you what?
Return to the adumah.
Till you go back to the ground
because from it you were taken.
That's where you came from. For
you are dust.
Dust. And
to dust you shall return.
Man going right back where he came from.
That's right.
Come on.
Now the Ish Kara, the Shem of his Asha, Ka'ua.
So he called the name of his wife Ka'ua. Tell him why.
Because she was the aim of all the Ka'i.
Because she was the mother. Aim is just like that sets direction. That's what a mother is. The actual thing for mother for us is aim. Because that's what you do. You get ready to shoot, what you do? You point it at a direction. That's what a mother is supposed to do with her kids. She's called the aim. She puts her kids in the direction they're supposed to go. Now, you know what I found out with the mother today? Sights off. You know, you shoot your gun, the bullet goes somewhere. A lot of times your sights off.
Yeah.
That's all there with the women.
Yeah.
I'm being honest, your sight off. See that? She the mother of all creation, of all the living. Come on.
Yahuwah Alahym made garments of skin for Adam and for his Asha and clothed them.
So why he let the apron go with the tatas hanging out? Because it's not appropriate.
That's right.
See, in their mind it looked good, but why he came along and gave him something different?
That's right.
And one why if you at home with your husband by yourself and the curtain closed, so the neighbor don't wreck when they pull in their driveway, you can wear them leaves. Otherwise, just go and put them in a garbage bag and put them on the street for the garbage man to pick it up. So these are the things we're trying to come back. Look, now we're going to look at something right quick. Finish up right quick. Let me show you something. We'll come back. Give me the 29th chapter again of the book of YashaYahu, they call Isaiah. 29 and 11. Now, we just talked about him closing up the didn't we?
Yes, sir.
And they couldn't see. Now, we just read them about their eyes being open.
That's right.
All right, let's see. 29 and 11. Listen.
The entire kazum shall be to you.
You said part of the kazum?
Entire.
Let's look up what entire means. Entire. With no part. Let's see what happened.
The entire kazum shall be
so
to
how much
you.
did they understand? Let's see. No. What you looking at the entire, listen what he said. The entire kazum shall be to you like the words of like a sealed scroll, which they give it to one
knowing
that has scroll, knowing scrolls. He knows scrolls, saying, please read this. He says, he shall say, I cannot, for it is
sealed.
That was evidence of it. When you gave it to them, they couldn't tell you what it said. He said the entire thing. They couldn't do it. Impossible. He said, because I showed you, I poured it out on them. And you be the judge where they poured it out on me. He said they can't read none of it. You be the judge for yourself. Nobody can get by. Nobody can get by. What I'm going to do with this if I can't read it? Well, see, you can't believe everything you read. The man just said, I poured it out on him. They can't read none of it. The entire thing, he told you can't read it sealed. Now what they'll do, they'll lie. He's doing a new thing. It ain't even in the book because it's so new. Now you've been played for a fool. That's when you've been played for a fool. Come on to the next verse, 12, 29 and 12. Listen.
Then the Sefer shall be given to one who does not know.
See that? Get to somebody who does not know scrolls. Saying,
please read this.
And what it say?
And he shall say,
I do what?
Do not know Sefer.
So what's the difference between the one that don't know and the one that know?
Nothing.
Neither one of them, you can't get no results. This is how dangerous it is to set someone. Why y'all think these, and this is the sad part, why y'all think these preachers create these messages? Because they don't know scrolls.
That's right.
They don't know scroll, they just make up something. He's doing something different. It ain't even in the book.
That's right.
Because it's so new, he just gave it to him. How can I verify it? It should be important to you because everything that you believe is attached to your nefesh, your soul. And you're supposed to possess it. What did we find out possess was? Besides the omen. Only? Who? Control, having. So what happens then when you commit sin? You lack control. That's the whole purpose of learning the books and the writing, so you wouldn't lack control. This is so important. Although it's simplified when I'm saying it to you, it gives you the concrete reason and rationale to how you're supposed to operate.
That's right. That's right.
It doesn't matter about outside influences.
Yeah.
You're supposed to possess.
That's right.
Let's go back right quick in that 2 Corinthians 7. I'm going to try to finish y'all up here. 2 Corinthians 7 in a minute. 7 and 1. Listen, therefore,
when we have the Shabbat,
the promises. And why are we talking about, why is he not talking about law? Okay. He should have told you, therefore, having these law. He should have told you law. Why are he telling you promises? It's important. Promises is what he was going to use to save man by, not Torah. He would never intend to save you by the law. He just showed you the operation of law. What happened in the gun? If I tell you not to do something, that's a law.
That's right.
All the law is a rule. If your parents say, don't go outside that door, what that mean? Oh, that means you still go outside. That's a law. That's a rule. Mm-hmm. A rule or code that governs a behavior. That's called the law. So when he told them not to touch, not to eat, what did he give them?
Law.
He gave them law. What did they do with the law? So how were they going to be saved?
They couldn't.
You couldn't be saved because you under the law. The law said to murder. The violation of the law says to murder or to kill you or crucify you. That's what mut means. To put to death on a stick, on the cross, to murder you, for you to die. Those were the operations you got from that point. So how are they going to be saved? They weren't. Listen to what he told you. Because you heard, so when did they get opportunity to clean themselves? It wasn't in the law. The law was just what he told them. The day you eat it, you surely die. So what they gonna tell you? Oh, I see the promise coming. I see Abraham. He said, what you say? What came out? You couldn't have possibly seen that. Because I gave you instructions and you broke them. And those instructions were based off of you dying. So there was no way to recover them. And that was so people would value the promise, because the law showed you what it could do. I could tell it to you, but if you break it, I can't save you. Mm-hmm. That's the law. I can't. That's what he looked at. This was his only son. This was his only son, and he did not spare him when he sinned, because the law didn't leave room for it. Do you understand? We are only here because of the promise. How many of y'all heard the law and you never broke it? How many of y'all heard the law before? How many of y'all never broke the law? Well, ain't no way to save you by the law. He concluded that every one of us condemned under the law.
That's right. That's right.
Why Adam didn't get mercy? Why did Adam didn't get the mercy seat? Why did he get the blood from the lamb? They had animals in the garden.
Yeah.
Why did he take a goat and put the blood up there? He was under the law. The law already gave him what the consequences were. The day you do it, not that next week, you're going to die. I'm going to murder you. I'm going to kill you. I'm going to put you to death. That's the law. So man was seeking something that would cover him because the law had already condemned him. Therefore, we have these.
Shaba.
Listen, and they put the S. Promises. TH is plural for us. S is plural in English. TH for us. Or the other M for the mem is plural because water. My beloved, let who?
Us.
Cleanse who?
Ourselves.
From who?
All defilement of basar and ruach.
Doing what?
Talmin kodash.
Kodash. Holiness can relate into more than one word. But use kodash. Kodash means separated. Separated. Now this is what you want to look at. Based off of what you just heard, it's important for you to realize something. Because you started reading something in a certain fashion, you need to pay attention. Therefore, having these
Shaba.
These promises, my copy B, let us do what?
Cleanse ourselves.
Let us do what?
Cleanse.
How you cleanse yourself? When did you get dirty?
Right.
Which means he's talking to people that had a violation.
Right.
Clean people can't clean themselves.
Right.
Even Yahushua, let's see what it said. Pick my record, 12th chapter book. What am I thinking? 12. 11. Thinking Yahuchanan 11. Is it 11 and 11? Let me see. Am I thinking 11 and 11? No. 16. No. What am I thinking, Yahuchanan? We did the feet washing. What am I thinking? So 13, 11. 13, 9. All right, man. 13. I got to forgive me. I ain't got nothing wrote down. Do 13 and 8. Let's see what happened. Listen.
Cuff said to him, you shall never wash my regal.
Listen what it said. This is Yahushua, who they call Jesus. They use terminology Jesus. I don't subscribe to the title. Just other reason. I like to go with what his name was. So Cuff is his name. Where we at? 8. Okay. So they using the Latin Petros. His name is Cuff, which is fist or to allow. All right. Say it to him, you shall never
wash my regal.
He said, you shall never
wash my regal.
Yahushua said to him, if I
do not wash you,
you shall.
You have no portion with me.
You have no portion with me. What happened? Let's see what he said.
Cuff said to him,
listen what he said.
My Adon,
which is my master.
Then not only my regal, but
then
also
not only what now?
My regal, but also my hands and my head.
What was he trying to wash? His feet. What he wanted to wash, he's finding he had no portion. His head and his hands. He wanted a bath. Let's see what he told him. 10. Listen.
Yahushua said to him,
one
who is washed. One who is washed.
Does what?
Not have to wash except his regal.
See that? But
is entirely clean.
That's all I'm trying to. You hear what he just said? For what he was doing, he said, no reason to wash your whole body. You're already clean. I just told you couldn't wash a clean person. That makes no sense.
That's right.
It don't take that long.
That's right.
That makes no sense. I'm clean. I got to get washed and get clean. That makes no sense.
Yeah.
Now, he just told him he would wash his feet. And he said, if I don't wash your feet, you don't have no part. He said, you ain't never washed my feet. He said, well, hey, man, wash my hands, my feet. He washed my head. He said, one that's clean don't have no reason to wash nothing but his feet.
Mm-hmm.
Said he already entirely clean. So if you just read 2 Corinthians 7:1, just told you having these promises, dearly beloved, let us cleanse ourselves. What did the man just tell you?
They're not clean.
You're not clean. Thank you, sir. You're not clean, ma'am. Sir, you're not clean. Now, Adam didn't get this offer, did he?
No.
Having these promises, because there was no promises given to him.
Right.
That's why he couldn't get it. Do you not understand this man set something up for you? Pick it up right quick. Abarym, Hebrews they call it 11. Don't take that long. I do this for a living, boss man. They don't believe me. I shall tell it all. Granville taught me that. You know what this means? You know what this means? We'll do 11 and 24. This is 11 and 24, the book of Abarym. They call it Hebrews, but the actual name is Abarym. Abarym means the other side. Hebrew is something they meant there's not no, it's actually they translated. People start putting vowels in the way and everything. And nobody knows the concept about, but it makes sense when you look at sometimes letters based on where you put them can give different sounds. So I'm not going to refute the credibility or the use of them. Y'all got it? Because you leave P as a P, you can't spell physical. So a lot of things can make sense in a way, you know what I'm saying? Some way you put the A, it can't have the same sound every time because some things will cancel out, okay? All right, listen to this. This is 11:24 by.
Amunah.
It's amunah. Faith is a substance of things hoped for, evidence of things unseen, which nobody knows anything about that. These people had amunah, which means stability, based upon what they knew.
That's right.
Musha, who they call Moses,
when he grew up,
when he was grown,
refused to be Kara, the being of Pharaoh's Ba.
See that? He stood on it. He didn't move. Come on, I ain't your son by faith. They ain't my granddaddy by faith. No, he's still about stability. That man knew that's not, you're not my daddy.
That's right.
You're not my, hey, he said, you know what he told him? You're not my father. You're not God. He let him know, you're not my father. You're not God. You're not my boss. That's what he told him. But he did it by amunah, by stability. He knew.
Yes, sir.
The man knew I'm not related to you. Listen.
Choosing rather to suffer.
He chose. Where you get the choosing from? Because some entered in the world, he had a choice. So now he chose. He didn't tell you he just did. He chose.
That's right.
He had a choice. I could stay with a lie. I could choose the truth. That's all it was. Come on, people, let's be practical. Choosing rather to suffer with the poor, with the arm of, it's called the arm, strength, arm of Alahym.
Then to enjoy the pleasures of Kata for a time.
Why you not like Musha? Why are you willing to enjoy sin, which is only for a short period of time?
That's right.
See, Musha looked at the end, I could stay here, and I could still be called her son and his grandson, but eventually this place coming down.
That's right.
And I'm going to have to give an account for what I've done. So he made a conscious choice during the state that Kata, sin had entered in the world, and he chose liberty. That's why Yahuwah brought him out. The people that chose the pleasure, they all died in Mizraim, that they call Egypt. Come on. 26.
Considering the reproach of the Mashiach, greater riches.
So he looked at the anointing. The anointed had greater riches than the treasures of
Mizraim.
See, that's what you don't consider. When you listen, when you can see, just like Ka'ur, she didn't consider that. Look, she didn't look at the treasure of Alahym. He done gave you a whole garden with liberties. But what she chose? Captivity, restriction, holdback, murder, death, suffering. That's what she chose, because it seemed good for the moment. But when you look at Musha, when Musha was offered opportunity, look, you already got it. You got everything right here, Ms. Ryan. You got servants, you got pyramids, you got people do everything for you. You're the next highest ruler inside of Mizraim. And that man chose, y'all can keep it. I'm gonna get back down here. Cause it's gonna end. Now think if he'd have stayed up there and then later on, after 80 years, 40 he walked away, 40 more years later, the whole place destroyed. Think if he'd have stayed there with it. I'm gonna hold on, I'm gonna be Pharaoh's grandson. I'm gonna call this lady my mother. And I know this is wrong what we're doing. But I'm gonna hold on anyway because I feel like something good gonna happen. Nothing good can happen when you're doing wrong.
That's right.
But see that, that's just letting you know. He's telling you about situations that we all do every day. When things come up, you have to consider your latter end. How long can I stay in this estate if I'm wrong? If it's like, oh, you can do this forever and nothing happen, why get out of it? but you're going to have to meet this man and pay for your decisions. So you got to do like Mushah, step down. Take that crown off your head and step down, because this thing coming to an end. So he looked at the Mashiach. Look, not Richard, just what? Why? This makes sense. If you come down from being Pharaoh's son, his daughter's son, I'll give you the same exact thing. What did he just tell me? Stay where I'm at.
Yep.
There's no desire to be equivalent to where you're at. There's a desire to be greater than where you are. So that's why he let him know, I'm offering you more. This is the Nakun we was reading about. What was going to persuade him to come out? The same? It's got to be something more. Listen, don't let anybody make no fool of the tongue. See, if you're looking for things, then you're not looking for Alahym. Stop being stupid. Why is he saying he's looked at greater riches? Because your flesh. Why you think Ka'ur desired that fruit? Because I want to be smarter. Not, you eat this, you'll be at the same level you at. Well, I might as well just keep eating the stuff I've been eating. I'm looking to be enriched. I'm looking to be enriched. And he knows this is man's desire to want more than what he has. So I know I got to offer him a reward. Somebody said, listen, quit your job. You may come work with me, I'm going to pay you the same thing. You be like, I mean, there ain't no motivation. You got to drive further, get up earlier, and come home later. But you ain't going to lose a dime. How you ain't going to lose a dime? You losing. Mm-hmm. I got to say, I'll pay you more. I'll compensate you above what you get. You said, that's worth the drive. That's worth the getting a run. No. Come put the check. Come see it. I see it in your eye. That man head said, why he ain't offer me that job? Get up with it. You know there wasn't no real job. Then I see him looking, I say, oh, why he ain't offer me that job? Well, you can read folk too. I be seeing. I can see. My brother called. He told me about it. He said, one of them in now. He gonna want that job. I'm telling you. I said, no, he's not. He's just gonna let me stay the one example. He said, just keep looking around until you're right. You'll see him. I don't know what my brother talking about until it happens. All right, so y'all understand this? Come on, 27.
By Amunah he came out of the Arats of Mizraim, not fearing because of the wrath of the Malak. For as is seen, what is invisible and is preserved.
So now look at this. This is a little different. Because if you read in the book of Al-Shemut, they call it Exodus. That's not the name. The name is Al-Shemut. It means, and these were the names. So now when you read it in the second chapter, when Mushah killed a man, and they said, and then he broke up two of the Akim, two of the brothers. They said, are you going to kill us like you did the Mizraim? He said, surely this thing is known. And he fled. But now when you read this tells you that's not why he fled. That's different than what you read. It told you he came out of the land of Mizraim, not fearing because of the wrath of the Malak, because the Malak, which was his granddad, was going to kill him. Not only have you stepped down, you killed one of my men. But they just told you that's not why he left. He actually left for as is seen what is invisible and is preserved. He was looking at Yahuwah. Come on. What did he wind up seeing? What did he wind up coming into contact with? Come on. By Amunah,
he kept the Pesach.
The Pesach, they call it Passover.
And the sprinkling of the dam.
And the sprinkling of the blood.
For the sake of the destroyer and the firstborn that should not touch them.
See that? In order it didn't come upon them. Come on.
By Amunah they passed through the Red Yam as by dry Arats, which they of Mizraim also attempted to pass through it and were drowned.
See that? It wasn't for everybody. Come on.
By Amunah the walls of Jericho fell down after they had been encircled for 7 yamim.
Come on.
By Amunah, Rechab, the prostitute, did not perish with those who were disobedient, because she gathered the spies to her house with Shalom.
She kept them in her house and didn't let nothing happen to them. Listen.
And what more shall I say? Behold, it shall fail me of the time of a number of the actions of Gideon, Barkah, Shemshun, Yiptak, also of Daud and Shemuel and the Nabaim.
Come on.
Who by Amunah conquered Malkuth and worked Siddiq, obtained Shaba and shut the mouths of lions, quenched the power of fire, escaped from the edge of the sword, and strengthened their weakness, and were made mighty in war, and overthrew the armies of the aliens. Nashim received back their moot by resurrection, and others were tortured, not wanting to be delivered, so that they might obtain a better resurrection from them.
Out of here is high. They said if Yahuwah don't deliver him, he was able. And he let you know these people were delivered. This was their almanac. This is their belief. Are you being asked to physically go stand in an Ari cage? Ari is the proper name for the male lion. Ariel for the female. Were you asked to literally do that or literally go stand inside of an oven? No, but you got to resist the heat of people putting pressure on you. You got to be willing to stop these people's mouth when they come down to condemn your lifestyle. That's where you come short at. See, what they did in a physical manner, now you're transferring to a rockly manner. The pressure get on you, get hot sometime on you. People's mouth gets critical when it's chewing and coming at you, but Yahuwah show you how to stop their mouth.
That's right.
Even YashaYahu said every mouth
must be stopped.
Where he got that from? He looked the same thing when Daniel was in the cave with the Ari.
That's right.
He told them Yahuwah had shut their mouth. He trying to show, listen, if he live right, Yahuwah shut their mouth. Yep. He showed you right that man. That's why he could lay in there in peace. He was in there laying on him sleep. Yahuwah shut these folk mouth. You know what you do? We don't never let him work because we got to fight it. We got to try to overtake it. And you looking at, you know what? Any one of us, he'll put us in a lion cage. That's when we start trying to use it. Oh, this will be like Daniel the lion den. That won't kill you, but you get killed every time out here when they come out and obeying simple instructions. Simple instruction kill people. They always looking to do some great feat attribute. Pierce me in my side. I'm going to show you. Won't you start letting sin come here and injure you in your side?
Yeah.
See, people won't fight the things he wants you to do. All they want you to do is obey.
That's right.
I ain't asked you to go get no fire. I ain't asked you to go get your kid and take it up like Abarym and slay it. I'm telling you to slay that kid you got in your heart.
That's right.
That kid that's prone to go and commit sin.
That's right.
Won't kill that one. He told take your child. They'll take all of them up there. I ain't asked for one. Take all. They'll go borrow somebody else's child. They child all the kids in the neighborhood. Man, take that little kid inside like them weedy come over there for that little kid in you. The one that make you go contrary when you've been told what to do. You ain't gonna kill that one. Start crying and hollering. I'm tired of people being stupid. Everybody keep looking for something stupid to do. If we just do what the man tells us to do, that's enough. Women receive back their dead by resurrection and others who were tortured, not wanting to be delivered, so that they might obtain a better resurrection, which is a cum from them. They're looking at a better resurrection. Come on.
Some of them were trials of mocking and scourges.
And then we get to crying and hollering, we got to go to court. What do you think these trials happen? These people were brought to court. They ain't nothing new. Your book done told these folks going to bring you before these people. First thing we do, start crying. But once you revert back to your writings, if you're doing what you're supposed to do, Yahuwah is a keeper.
That's right.
Don't you know you can do right and still go to jail? Mm-hmm. You can do right and still go, but the comfort is knowing he still keeps us. When Joseph went, he done nothing wrong. He was still put in prison. He was brought out and he was put up to a higher rule. A lot of times you don't realize if he make you fall, it's so I can take you up. Why did Yahushua fall? So he can go up. Why does a seed go in the ground? Soon as you get ready to fall, you start doing them. Ah! You ain't even hit the ground. What you doing? The man only trying to take you down so he can bring you up. That's what you do with us. Who grows a seed from right here? You got to put it down in the ground. That's what the man doing, but we won't let him work because we keep trying to have our own ideology. Come on.
And more delivered to
37.
chains and imprisonment.
Oh, okay. All right, come on. In chain in prison, they must have been sinners. See, I don't know why they think a righteous person can't. Stop it, except for Trump. Come on. They were
stoned with a bond.
They had rock players. They had rock bands back then. It was stoned. You know the Rolling Stones? All right, don't worry about it. Not taking on the road. It's an audience out there not taking on the road. They were stoned with
Abarym.
Those not crack rock. They were stoned with stones. They were
sewn asunder,
cut apart. They were
tormented in agony.
So if you get tormented, you get cut. Why the first thing you're gonna do is start quitting saying he wants you to die, he don't care about you. He tell you about people that already went through it. See, everybody look to be delivered from something. He only delivered us from it. So when I put you back to it, you understand how it works now. When he took Shaul, he told him he delivered him from where, Justin? Where he said he delivered Shaul from? Come on, Justin, make that check today. Come on. Who know where he told? Hand. He said, I delivered you from the people unto whom now I send you. See, he couldn't send him to the people when he was still a part of the people. First of all, he had to deliver him from the people before he give him back to the people. Hello? Okay, let's look at a baby. When a woman goes to the hospital, what is she going to have? Not kids don't, if she's pregnant. What is she going to have? What is that place called? Hospital? What's that particular? Delivery room. So what are they delivering? From where? And where do they get a baby back to? It don't take that long. I don't know what y'all doing. He told Shaul, I delivered you from the people to give you back to the people. So he took him from the people, and then he gave them back. When they get the baby they let us see it, they take the baby, clean the baby, get the baby all the shot, give what they get, and come back and say, here go the baby. Simple. But you in your mind trying to run some spiritual trip, and all you as the spirit you run on is called liquor. Because the man's stuff is not complicated. It's really simple. You deliver the baby from the mother to do what? After they're gonna make sure they get the shots, they're gonna get everything, do clean the baby up, then they come back and say, here go the baby. So that's all he did to Shaul. He took him from us, then said, I got through with him. Now here you go, I get him back to you. Ain't that right? Now you can stand. You can't give it to him right now because the baby's still prone at that point. Need vitamin K shot. All these things they do to the baby, then they get it back to you. I gotta make sure the baby can stand. Hello? Everything, how hard is it? We had to go to another planet to get it. Everything I told you, it relates to a man. Everybody keep trying to run off with all this stuff. It's not a fantasy in your mind. It's reality. This is why people don't serve him right, because you keep putting your mind somewhere that makes no sense. Everything he's telling you, you operate in it every day. Go get somebody to sow a seed, throw it in the air, and see if it's steady after it grows out. It's got to go down. When it go down, it comes out of the ground. What it's doing? So if I go down, why is he taking me down? Because he hate me. He don't taking me down because I'm getting ready to bring you up. See, it make a difference when you go through stuff now. Versus every time somehow you start crying, get what he said? Don't worry about growing. Stay with it. I'm back now. That's the problem. I'm trying to get you to do better. You keep coming back. That's why you have no growth. Y'all see where we at? As soon as he cut off, you feel better. And you so dumb. When I'm saying you so dumb, include me. You so dumb, we so dumb because we look at society. How people gonna look at me? What people gonna think about me? How people viewing me? Talking about these people that pay all your bills? Right, these folks gonna pay your bills? These folks not doing that for you. You gotta start looking at the word.
That's right.
If I'm taking you down because I'm getting ready to bring you up. But if you won't let me work because you looking with your eyes and you looking at your friends and people you trying to be with, you're going to lose every time. And you know what? Stunning. This is why the average y'all here ain't grown. I'm being honest with you. I'll tell you right now you ain't grown because you ain't going to let them take you down so you can come up. You just leave me, just let me stay where I'm at. What does that mean? There's no growth. There's no growth. Come on. Robert, come on get a check, man. I just thought of an offense. Thank you, Robert. They were stoned with stones. They were sawn asunder. They were tormented and agony. There was let me just see something. Come on for a minute. 2 checks. 2 checks. They were slain with the edge of the
sword.
They went around in
sheepskins.
Them not condoms. In goat skins.
Wrapped, being in need.
You got to get everybody's mind clear. They see sheepskin, they trying to justify condoms. Being in need, in erosion, being oppressed, being mistreated. Look at this. Whoa, you can't believe it. Only time you get mistreated, get oppressed when you're a sinner. Man, tell you, so guess what you learn? It'll fall on the Sadiq. First thing something happens, going wrong. Oh, it cause they ain't right. Oh, ain't gonna be saved. Why are all these people right here slain, thrown in prison? Because they were committing sin? That's how little you know about them. This is why you have no growth. Most of y'all been with y'all have absolutely no growth. None. You won't get it because Your mind is set on trying to measure yourself by other people. When the writing clearly told you, we're not of them that judge ourselves by themselves. In so doing, this is not wise. We do it according to the rule. We go by the standard he said. I'm not using no brother talking about, well, based off of him where I'm at. This would be dumb. You're supposed to use the word.
That's right.
What you gonna do with these people here? Because he definitely said he was sinners. Look what all this happened now. Stone. Woo. People say get stoned, sewn asunder, cut apart. People say get cut in pieces. They were tormented in agony. You talking about saved people? They were slain with the edge of the sword. They went around in sheepskin, in goatskin, wrapped, being in. Are you serious? People living right can be in need? I thought only sinners are in need. And Ra Shyth being oppressed, and that's before civil rights. Being mistreated. Can you believe that? Saved people being mistreated. Woe is me. Come on.
Unashamed,
Men.
of whom the alarm was not worthy to them.
See that? It wasn't even worthy to them. They wandered
In Bamidbar,
in the wilderness and
in Abarym,
in mountains,
and in caves,
and in caves.
and in holes of the Adumah.
I can imagine righteous people living in the ground, righteous people living in caves, and we live in houses. They couldn't have been living right. Ain't that something? That's why you look at the promise. These people under the law, look how they did it. And them folk, and they stood better than we standing. In a cave, living in a hole. Come on.
And all these, though having obtained the witness on them through their amunah,
See that?
did not receive the Shabbat.
They didn't even get the promise. All that good living. All that they done, they didn't even get the promise.
That's right.
They didn't receive it. Let's see what happened.
Because Alahym has expected for us a tube advance to what is much better. For those should not make Talmim without us.
That's why they had to wait on us. Y'all didn't realize all them people, he going back to grade them. He had to wait on us. Can you imagine that? All that they had to do. Look all they went through. They had to wait on us.
That's right.
You know what? That was good. Good report. They couldn't get nothing until we got him.
That's right. That's right.
Only Yahuwah could do something. That's what make you appreciate him. Why this wasn't my life? Why you weren't cut up? Why your kids weren't cut up? Why you weren't living in a cave wondering what happened and no scene, no light, all dimness? These people, they ain't see it, but they stood. They stood on something that hadn't even been, they couldn't get it. They had to wait on us. You know, all that. Listen, that was tight. But he provided something better for us.
That's right.
That day without us,
Could
not be made perfect. They couldn't be made perfect without us. Y'all see that? That's the value of what he does versus you live your life always grumbling, complaining about what you ain't got. You don't never look at what the man gave you. These folks here, they was in a place, he said, you want to be delivered? They said, I don't want to be delivered, I stay in him. You hard to deliver and you ain't even captured. That's all you hard to deliver. Domino, Pizza Hut, Uber Eats, everybody in front of your house. Delivery. Y'all gonna give me some, come on, get a preacher song. But where are we spiritually? No one has the confidence in him to wait to see what's the end. These people have confidence, stability, where I trust him on this situation. I'm not looking for no deliverance because I know I'm looking for a far more exceeding promise. What we do? I finish on here. Galatians 5:1. I'll get ready to let y'all go. Go and get your money. Yahuwah been too.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate it. That's why before you murmur and grumble and complain, you need to sit back and you need to consider. This is Galatians 5:1. Listen to this.
And now stand fast in the freedom.
Listen what he told you. Hold on for a minute. Look what he told you. And now
stand fast in the freedom with which the Mashiach has made us free,
and
shall not return to conquer with the yoke of bondage.
See that? Adam, he didn't get this option to stand fast in the liberty, in the freedoms. That's what he did. He failed. That's how we knew he had Amunah. He failed. Now he just told you to stand fast in the freedom. Listen to this now. Adam had freedom. He had liberties. That's all liberty or freedom. How you get to be told, and now stand fast? What were you doing before that? The fact I'm saying, and now stand fast in the freedom with which the Mashiach has made us free, and shall not. What do re mean? That's it, like retarded. If you say somebody retarded, that means they've been retarded for. You're supposed to tell a person they retarded. First time you do something, say you retarded.
That's
they
right.
do it 2 times, you retarded.
That's right.
All right, think about it. See, I also teach that too. I teach the first state, which is tarded. When you say a person retarded, that means they've been there before. Because he just told you to return.
That's right.
And shall not return, shall not retard. Basically, you've been taught before. Don't be retarded at this point. To return is to be retarded. To conquer with the yoke of bondage. Mean yoke is what you put on an animal. When you put it on their back, they burden they wear. That's what you do with sin. That's a yoke. See, now you're going back to bondage. See, Adam didn't get this opportunity. That's because you're getting the promise.
That's right.
He couldn't tell Abraham. I mean, he could have never told Adam this. Adam was under the law.
Yeah.
There was no promise for him. He couldn't be told to stand fast and don't return back. He couldn't come back to the gun. See that? It was no option. You set in a state where you get a lot more opportunity and chances of other people never got. And those people's failures became your strengths. For the fact of you know where you at, the state you in, no one has committed Qatar more than us. These people were cut off in a couple of times. 10 times he cut off people who were in the will. He said, think about it, they only messed up 10 times with him. And he cut them off. How many of you only messed up 10 times? Why are you here? That is because of the promise. That makes you look back and consider where you should be when you look at the writings. If you were under the law, that all these groups out here claiming, we law keep, we law breakers. Because they can't be saved under it. We follow the factions of it, but we understand that we're going to be justified by Amunah and not by the Torah.
That's right.
Because you committed sin. So you want to be judged by the law?
No.
Adam was judged by the law. And how did that work out?
Move.
And now you're saying you're a law keeper. Listen, we follow the factions of the law, but we understand we're going to be justified by Amunah. Big difference. We are appreciative for the fact he allows it to be broken down to the simplest point that you can actually do it. Can you imagine those people sitting here? You have the official Nabal. And yet he's telling you, listen, when you get it book to them, they ain't gonna be able to read it. Do you understand this is how they lived every day? They ain't go to work, come home from a job somewhere else and then read. Everything they done was based on, when they sat down, they were supposed to talk about it. Who were they gonna be sitting with? Their own. When they went home and sat in their house, who was gonna be there? If their family weren't keeping it, you weren't gonna be in this house. So they was constantly surrounded by people who were keepers of it. And yet they all still broke it. Now you come out here, you sit among people that break among you and people out here, yet now because you look at the fact he cut these people out, it becomes so valuable to you and you become so appreciative that I owe him a debt. Not just me saying thank you, hadu with my mouth, but by conforming my life to be obedient, to be compliant to, because I know Adam's situation is my situation. Everybody he cut off, and listen, Asu, who they call Esau, who sold his birthright. That is Tony Smith. I sold my birthright. I gave it up, and he spared my life. He said this man will never get it. I will never forgive him for selling his birthright. I sold my birthright. He spared my life. I owe this man everything. He recovered me, not by the law, but by the fact I recognize I do not deserve the opportunity. I'm unworthy. I don't deserve any of it. I don't deserve any of his recall. But the mere fact he gave it to me makes me want to show him my appreciation, my living. It makes me want to educate other people to realize when you know him, you'll love him, you'll do the same. That's two.